Have you ever walked through a giant grocery store and just wondered, how do they keep track of all this stuff? I mean, every can, every box, every single apple. It's a massive, massive puzzle. Well, today, we're going to pull back that curtain and see exactly how it's done.
And this all kicks off with a fantastic question from Reddit. Do stores really know what's on their shelves in real time? The answer is kinda yes, but also no. And the reality of how it works is honestly fascinating.
So to track, tens of thousands of different things, every single one of them needs a unique identity. This is the absolute foundation, the first and most critical piece of the whole system, and it all begins with a simple code.
That code is the SKU, which stands for Stock Keeping Unit. The easiest way to think about it is as the store's own private nickname for a product. It's not just for cereal, no. It's for the 18-ounce box of Honey Nut Cheerios specifically. Every single unique version of an item, down to the size, the flavor, you name it, gets its own unique SKU.
All right, so you're probably thinking, wait, isn't that just the barcode I scan at the checkout? Not quite. That barcode is the UPC, the Universal Product Code. The key word there is universal. That same 18-ounce box of Cheerios has the exact same UPC no matter where you buy it. The SKU, on the other hand, that's the store's internal secret code, used only for their own inventory system.
Okay, so now that every single item has its own ID card, the store's computer system can finally start counting. And you might think this is some ridiculously complex algorithm, but the core logic behind this massive operation, it's actually really simple.
It's basically just a constant digital tally. When a delivery truck shows up, boxes get scanned in, and the system adds, say, 24 boxes of that specific cereal to the total count. Then, when you buy one, the cashier scans it out, and the system subtracts one. This simple loop of addition and subtraction just runs nonstop for everything in the store.
But, the system only really works perfectly on paper. In the real world, as Reddit user PSN Mike, who used to work in a grocery store, points out, things get messy. That perfect digital count is just a best guess, because it's constantly getting thrown off by stuff the industry calls shrink. That's a catch-all for theft, damaged goods, food that goes bad, or even just a carton of milk that a customer decides they don't want and leaves in the chip aisle. And that's exactly why employees still have to do regular physical counts to go back and fix the computer's numbers.
And this little guy is the main tool they use to do that. With one of these handheld scanners, an employee can just walk up to a shelf, scan a barcode, and instantly see what the computer thinks is on hand, what's hiding in the back room, and what's scheduled to arrive on the next truck.
So when that scanner shows that, yep, we're running low on something, an order has to get placed. But nobody's picking up a phone or sending a fax anymore. Instead, an amazing, automated digital process kicks off that connects that one store to a massive global supply chain.
It's actually hard to believe, but this whole thing used to run on paper forms, faxes, and phone calls. It was so slow and just full of human errors, like someone writing down the wrong number. But today, it's all handled instantly and automatically by a system called Electronic Data Interchange, or EDI for short.
EDI is basically the digital bridge that connects everyone. It's a standardized computer language that lets the grocery store's system talk directly to the computers at the warehouse and even at the manufacturer's factory. It creates this seamless automated conversation that no human ever has to touch.
And we can actually translate this digital conversation into plain English. An EDI 850 message is just the store's computer saying, hey, I need more cereal. The 855 is the supplier's system shooting back, got it, order confirmed. And this little chat continues back and forth for shipping notices and invoices. This automation is what makes the whole modern supply chain work. It's ridiculously fast, it runs 24/7, and it gets rid of all those human errors that used to cause so many problems.
And this really shows you the true scale of it all. EDI isn't just a two-way street between a store and a warehouse. Oh no, it is the invisible thread that connects the entire supply chain. From the farm that grew the weed, to the factory that made the cereal, to the distributor that shipped it, and finally, right to that shelf in your local store. So that's the incredibly powerful system running things today. But it still has that one big weakness we talked about. It only knows what should be there, not what is actually there. So, what's next? Well, the future is all about solving that problem by making the items themselves just a little bit smarter. This brings us to a huge challenge for the next generation of stores. The cashierless, just walk out kind. Their fancy cameras and shelf sensors are great at seeing you take an item, but their vision is completely blocked the second that item gets put inside a bag or a backpack.
But what if the item itself could tell you about its surroundings? It sounds like science fiction, but researchers are developing a new system that uses the radio waves from tiny little RFID tags to figure out the material of the container it's just been placed inside.
The experiment itself was pretty simple, really. They just put an item with an RFID tag inside a bunch of different containers, like a paper bag, a backpack, a purse, and then they measured exactly how the radius signal changed as it passed through each material.
And the results are, well, they're pretty striking. You can see it right here. The radio signal that passes through a thin plastic bag looks totally different from the one that has to go through a thick backpack. It turns out every material leaves its own unique fingerprint on the radio wave as it travels through. So by feeding all these unique signal fingerprints into a machine learning model, the system actually learned to tell the difference between materials. And the accuracy is seriously impressive. In their tests, it correctly identified what kind of container an item was in with 89% accuracy from just a 1-second scan. So, how would this work in a real store? Okay, picture this. There's an RFID reader hidden at the exit. As you walk out, it quickly scans the tags on the items you're carrying. If the system detects that an unpaid item is inside a container, like a backpack, boom, it could automatically trigger a security alert.
I mean, it is a pretty incredible evolution when you really stop and think about it. We started with a simple barcode that just gave an item an ID. That evolved into a system that tracks it across the entire planet. And now we're looking at a future where that very same tag might be smart enough to know when it's being stolen. It really leaves you with a fascinating question. What other everyday object is going to become a sensor next?